All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:53 a.m. here in Central Florida, June 30th, 2025. It's my birthday today, and I want to talk about what it's like to turn 55 years old. Obviously, I can only speak for myself. I mean, that's all anyone can really do or should do. So I'll tell you what it's like from my perspective, give you my thoughts. And many of you watching this are my age, perhaps older. But I think most of this is going to be mainly geared toward the younger generation. I'm hoping that I can offer some insight that will make you think a little bit and kind of prepare for the coming years. God willing that we make it there, right? So, yeah, I have to be honest with you. I feel a little strange about it. See, when I turned 40 years old, that really bothered me. I stopped and looked at my life. Can you believe that's 15 years ago? I stopped and looked at my life, and I didn't like where I was at. I thought I should have been further along, and I compared myself to others, and I felt like I had disappointed myself and maybe my family. And I wasn't really approaching it correctly. You know, I wasn't really thinking about it in the right way. It took me a while to get out of that slump. By the time I turned 50, I actually felt proud of where I was in life and how far I'd come along. I felt really good about it because I knew I could have done a lot worse. I knew I'd made some good decisions, and I had something to show for it. So I felt there's a vast difference between turning 40 and 50 for me. You would think it'd be the other way around, but no, I felt good about turning 50, did not feel great about turning 40. And at 55 now, I have some thoughts about this because it's kind of mixed. I gotta switch arms. My arm is already getting tired. So anyway, yeah, I do have some mixed feelings about it. My first thoughts were, well, I guess I'm officially a senior citizen. But I thought, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that's not when you're a senior citizen. And the reason why I initially believed that is because that's when you start getting discounts and everything, and I don't know, things that I don't buy, coffee at McDonald's or wherever. Like 55 seems to be the turning point. And I don't like it because now I feel like, yeah, I'm one of the old people. Now, some people feel that way long before this age, but I've taken good care of myself. I work out a lot, and I feel good about my body. I feel good about what I'm able to do, my mobility, and I want to comment more about that here in just a few minutes, but I thought I might be wrong about the whole 55 senior citizenship thing. So I looked it up this morning. Here's what I found. I asked, I said, when does senior citizenship officially begin? What age? And so here's what it says. In the United States, it is generally considered that a senior citizen is anyone of retirement age or a person that has reached age 62 or older. Okay. All right. That's a nice ray of sunshine in my day. So I'm happy about that. I read down further, and it says many people start considering themselves senior citizens when they start getting mail from AARP. I was getting mail from them a long time ago. This begins around age 50. This is just one milestone that signals you may be officially considered a senior. The ages of 55, 62, and 65 are additional milestone years that mark the onset of senior citizenship. Well, what is it? I guess this is arbitrary. Nobody really knows, right? But I don't know if I like how they term that. There are additional milestone years that mark the onset of senior citizenship, like it's terminal, right? Whoever wrote that wasn't very sensitive, but I don't need sensitive. I need perspective, and that's what I'm always trying to gain. And I hope that's what this video provides is some kind of perspective. So here we go. Listen, I probably can't tell people around my age too much of anything, okay? They're probably not going to listen to me. I mean, what do I know? My scope of knowledge about this time of life is very limited. I've never been 55 before, okay? Never been 55 before. Some people have a healthier mindset than I do. I feel like I do pretty good. I'm a pretty strong individual, physically, mentally. I'm a survivor. I've always considered myself a survivor. I'm kind of like my mom that way. But yeah, I don't have, I think what I'm trying to say is that I want to speak mainly to people that are younger than me. What I want to tell you is, you got to think about the long game. And I've always thought about the long game. Ever since being a kid, I've thought about the long game. And the reason why is, I always looked at my father, who did not take very good care of himself. He had extra weight that he didn't need. He wasn't like really obese. He wasn't like that. He wasn't a large man, but he had weight that he carried in ways that wasn't good for him, you could tell. And he always looked 10, 15, maybe 20 years older than what he was. And he didn't handle stress well. And I always knew that something would happen to him, and something did. And I always made it my mind that I am not going to do that. I'm not going to be that way. Now, life has taken its toll on me. It's run me through the ringer. But I want to survive. And I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. So I've taken measures. I've taken measures a long time ago. I put these things in place to sustain myself. And that's what I want to tell you, is that you want to be thinking about sustainability. We do that, we talk about it a lot as we get to be older financially, right? There's all these people you can talk to, all these plans that you can make. And I want to tell you that you can't just think, well, you ought to prepare financially, right? I mean, things do seem to get better as you get to be older financially. That's generally how they go, not always. But you also want to think about how you're going to take care of yourself physically. So from a young age, I always worked out. I've always, I'm going to walk this other way. It's getting kind of loud over here. I've always worked out. I've always taken care of myself. And I've always thought about, like, what can I do as an older man? What can I keep up with? I never wanted to get into like taking steroids, any kind of substances or enhancements that would take me beyond what I'm naturally capable of. I want to know what I'm naturally able to do all the time. I want to do things the right way. I want to do things that are sustainable. And so I've always sought to do that. I never want to get on TRT. I know that some people sing the praises of that kind of thing. I've seen what it can do to men. I don't like it. But I watch a lot of videos of, it might sound kind of weird, but I watch a lot of videos of men way older than me doing extraordinary things that look great. And I try to model myself after them. Guys that are doing lots of push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, anything like that that is remarkable. And you go, wow, you look at them and go, wow, okay? It's not that we want to impress someone as we get to be older. We just want maybe to impress ourselves. We just want to know that we didn't just take things lying down. So think ahead, think about the long game physically. That's the first thing. Think about it physically. Think about what is sustainable. I never really wanted to get into weights. I've never been one to work out with weights. Everything for me has been calisthenics, and I've done quite well. I'm pleased with the body that I have. I could probably lose a few pounds. I'm 15 pounds heavier this year than I was last year at this time, but I'm wearing it well. I walk around at 220 and I'm 5'11". but I feel like it looks good on me, all right? And if the doctors had their way about it, I'd be 180 pounds. And I've said to them, do you know what I look like at 180 pounds? I look like I'm sick. I've had people ask me, do you have cancer? You know, are you all right, Greg? Are you sick? Do you want to tell us something? No, I've been down to that. I don't like it. So maybe somewhere around 200 would be nice. I could stand to lose about 20 pounds, but you know, that could be easily fixed by just changing my diet a little bit. Okay, so mentally, think about the long game. Mentally. I talked about physically, but look at your life and think about the way you're handling conflict, the way you're handling stress, the way that you're dealing with relationships, conflicts and stress in relationships. Look at the way you think about your work. Look at the way that you feel about any number of things and ask yourself, is that healthy? And stop telling yourself, you can't help it, it's the way you feel. If you're not happy with what you're doing, you could change it, or you could change the way you think about it. It's not always easy to jump the tracks and take a different path. It's not always easy to do that. You could do it, or you could find a way to be content with where you are and enjoy life. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from this video that I want to impress upon you guys, is that you don't always have to be switching things up. And the reason why I say this is because I saw my parents do this. We moved around so much in my life. I can't even begin to tell you how many different places I've lived. My parents were always skipping from one place to the next. And I've asked them, why? Why do you do that? Why can't you just settle down? And that's why in my own personal life, I've put such an emphasis on stability and sustainability. It's not that I have to be loyal to any one thing, but I want to know that I'm not just a flighty person, a flighty individual. The deeper that your roots go, the more stable you're going to be. You know, if you're not in the career you want to be, change it while you can. If you're not in the relationship that you ought to be in, change it while you can, because it's not always easy later on to mix things up. So, yeah, I hope that you guys can really get something from that. Learn to be content. Learn to be happy. Do it now. I've seen so many older people, much older than me, who are miserable, absolutely miserable with their life, but they never took care of it earlier on. I asked my dad years ago, why does it seem like old people are so grumpy? He says, I don't think it's because they're old. I think it's because they've always been that way. So take care of yourself now. Emotionally, learn how to be happy, learn how to be content, learn how to handle stress, gain some perspective in life that helps you to weather the storms. Take care of yourself physically. Ask yourself, what do you want to be able to do long term? You know, what's your goal? For me, I want to make sure that I can take care of myself, that nobody else has to physically take care of me. Now, I may not have much of a choice. Maybe something will happen, but I want to give it my best try. Take care of yourself financially. You know, think about what you're doing with your money. Think about, that's extremely important. I've learned how to save better as I've gotten older. I've learned how to have more than one stick in the fire, and that's important too. So, you know, some of these things kind of work themselves out as you get to be older. And some people, it's like they never learn. So what do I think about turning 55? It's weird. It is weird. You know, for so many years, you can maintain the physicality and the mentality of a much younger person, because it seems like you stay relatively young for a very long time. There comes a point in time, though, when everything changes. It happens fast. But you have to adjust. You have to modify. You have to be willing to be flexible and to change things up for the better. And I hope that some of the things I've said here can give you some ideas. All right. That was probably kind of long. I didn't mean to make it so, but there's just some thoughts I had. And, you know, I talked about turning 40, how that was weird. That was 15 years ago. That went by so fast. We hear people say that all the time. Time just flies. It does. It does. Absolutely. You know, don't waste your time not giving thought to things. Prepare. And it'll make you a lot better off when you get down the road. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. And make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out all my other videos on my playlist. I'll leave a link down below. And hope you have a great day. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. In the meantime, be wise.